Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for watching and listening. If you are listening, you're on one of the major podcast platforms in the country. We are on all of them: Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Pandora. Please choose your favorite platform and subscribe to us. We're also on YouTube. Look us up over there. Facebook, at The Right Side with Doug Billings. Twitter, at Doug Billings. Clout Hub and Parler, all at Doug Billings. We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Let me set this up, today's show, by asking you about gut feelings. You ever had a gut feeling? There's always a reason, isn't there, to trust your gut, to trust that gut feeling. So, millions of people, imagine if you will, millions of people, they attend rallies. Trump rallies, of course. What other rallies can there be in this day and age, I guess, right? Trump rallies, millions of people, tens upon tens of thousands of people at each one of them. Imagine also, if you will, with me, the Biden rallies, where 25 people on average show up. Yeah. He couldn't fill a minivan, really, could he? And Trump lost the election? All right, go with me. What about these car parades and these boat rallies? And every state had them. Hell, they had them in foreign countries. You've seen it on the news. All of the statistics, look at these. Everything that's happened in the last 4 years. The lowest unemployment in the history of our in every demographic, by the way, right? The lowest black unemployment, the lowest Hispanic and Latino unemployment, the lowest unemployment for women, the lowest unemployment for college graduates, the lowest unemployment for everybody. Best economy in the history of the republic, highest black votes for a Republican candidate ever, the highest Hispanic and Latino votes for a Republican candidate ever. We were energy independent. We are currently energy independent. I mean, you get the point, right? There was so much winning, right? But we have off in the gallery, just off stage over there watching, as they always do and as they always did, with hate and anger. They are watching over there filled with rage, hate, and anger, possessed by the enemy himself. And I'm not kidding about that. The radical new Democratic Socialist Communist Party, seething with fury and rage as they have since the day Trump won the nomination. Check your gut feeling about this, ladies and gentlemen. Check your gut. Ever since he won the Republican nomination, they've been possessed by evil. There's no other way I know how to describe it. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. They have done evil and terrible things. He was labeled illegitimate from the very beginning. The moment that he won the presidency, illegitimate. You had newscasters on television, mainstream media, with an illegitimacy clock. We're going to keep track of his presidency and just show you how long this illegitimate man is in this illegitimately won office. We have adult members of the House and the Senate who wouldn't attend his inauguration, who wouldn't attend his State of the Union addresses. Nancy Pelosi tears up the speech that he wrote. I mean, it was adolescent behavior. It is adolescent behavior. Filled with rage and hate, possessed by the enemy. We have elected members of our government who made up false accusations, Adam Schiff, about the president. Adam Schiff isn't the only one. They presented false documents against him, the Pfizer report, the Chinagate report, the Russiagate report, all of this collusion that was supposed to be going on. Then we have the fake impeachment process, and that's been erased, ladies and gentlemen. All of you people that think there's going to be an asterisk next to President Trump's name because of an impeachment, you're intellectually immature. He was acquitted, ladies and gentlemen. Then they use COVID-19, a national and a worldwide pandemic, to try to hurt President Trump. They use it as a mechanism to instill chaos and fear within the republic because they think, a page right out of their playbook, if you have chaos, they might want to change leadership. It's President Trump's fault. That man worked his ass off during the entire thing. He did everything first, shutting us down, didn't know anything about the virus, how to combat it, so he shuts the country down, and they learn about it. You have members of the New Democratic Socialist Communist Party who wanted to do the exact opposite, and you know the stories. Possessed by the enemy, they called him xenophobic. They called him a racist. They called him crazy. They walked out in the streets themselves and encouraged everyone to come on out. Then they wrecked our economy. Again, they want you to be dependent upon them. COVID-19 is not the zombie apocalypse, and new cases of COVID are not a bad thing. The media and the New Democratic Socialist Communist Party wants you to think that new cases equals new deaths. That's not true. It has an infection to mortality rate of 0.00003%. From day one of his presidency, Trump has been deemed illegitimate by the radical left, by the mainstream fake news media, and members of the deep state itself, and those rhinos, Republicans in name only, people like John McCain. Now look, John McCain was a war hero. Be the first one to say it. I'm also going to say this. John McCain was a jackass. But check your gut feelings, ladies and gentlemen, especially now, since the days from the election have passed us now, since these few days have passed. We can tell something isn't right. We can feel it. Something's very, very wrong here. 74 million gut checks that think something's wrong can't be wrong. Your gut checks aren't wrong. I can tell you that the gut checks that we're feeling together are telling us that the evidence of the obvious is sufficient here. President Trump won this election in a landslide, ladies and gentlemen. I projected the night before the election that he would win. I had a map and I held it up. Lots of red states. But because of the fraud, many of our projections didn't come true. He won in a landslide. And so today, here's what's happening. The Federal Election Commissioner of the FEC, Federal Election Committee, their chairman, the FEC oversees election processes and so forth. His name is Trey Traylor. He was on Newsmax, and he said, given the fact that there's so much fraud, so much concern, so much chaos within all of this, all of these states that we're looking at, he said, and I quote, the election results are illegitimate. Now, we also have reports today about this thing called Dominion software. It's the software that some of the states, most of the states use it, but it's used to tally the ballots and the votes in these elections. Ask me sometime on a different day and when we have a different story to tell you about how Nancy Pelosi's husband and Dianne Feinstein's husbands both have not only high-ranking positions but financial interests in Dominion software. But that's a story for a different day. Dominion software has either been hacked or someone purposefully has programmed and triggered it to do this. Millions of votes for President Trump have been deleted from Dominion software. Millions. We're not just talking a few thousand here and so forth, and the reports in the mainstream media saying, oh, these reports of fraud, they're baseless. There's no evidence. And even if they were true, there's not nearly enough of that evidence to change the outcome of the election. Not true. Dominion software has been found to have deleted millions of votes for President Trump. Number two, Dominion software has changed or switched hundreds of thousands of votes from President Trump and put them in the Joe Biden column. Now, I'm told by people who I talk with that President Trump is going to be coming out and addressing the nation soon about this and putting forth specific evidence and addressing these allegations himself. We'll see. We'll see about that. But check your gut, ladies and gentlemen. What does your gut feeling tell you? Doesn't it tell you that that might be possible, given everything that I listed at the beginning of the program, the sheer magnitude of the numbers of people that came out in this country? How many times did you drive in your neck of the woods and see not one Biden-Harris sign, but hundreds of Trump signs? Things like that. It's not scientific. I'm not saying that. It's a gut feeling, but gut feelings are very rarely wrong. And this is in part why members of the media and the radical new left Democratic Socialist Communist Party are consistently and constantly using the term President-elect Biden when you see them on television. Every time, every 15 seconds they repeat it. Every news story online, Vice President-elect Harris, President-elect Biden. Don't fool yourselves. It has nothing to do with the actual outcome of the election. It has everything to do with their panic and their nerves about this, because they have the same gut feelings that we do, ladies and gentlemen. They're terrified and they're panicked. They're absolutely terrified. Check your gut feelings. You know it's the truth. Now we're told, and I hope it's true, the president to address the nation. I can't help but think that's going to be just, I can't miss that. I cannot miss that broadcast. I can't wait to see it. And I hope he lays waste to whoever is responsible. But ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be surprised. I again am told that when we do hear this news, high-ranking government elected officials will be found to have taken part in voter fraud and forgery. And I think that heads need to roll. People need to be arrested. Your gut feelings were right, ladies and gentlemen. This was a landslide for President Trump. For those of you on the left watching this and you're seething right now and your heads are about to explode, the only reason you're seething and the reason that your heads are about to explode is because you have the same gut feelings that we do and you're terrified. The hate the left has for Trump, and I want you all to remember this. If you don't remember anything else about this show right now, remember this. The hate that the left has for President Trump has caused them to go to any length to sabotage him. They've done it all along his presidency, and they're doing it now. The evidence is going to show that their hate has caused them to commit felony voter fraud against the president. And some of you may have doubted me when I said the left was possessed by the enemy, Satan, at the beginning of this program, but you don't doubt me now. I'm sure the light is on. I'm not kidding. They are possessed. And I don't ever joke about the atrocity of the devil and his ability to diabolically work against the truth. I don't ever joke around about that. The hate the left has for President Trump has been the root cause of all of their plots against him. And their hate for him will now be, finally, the reason that they fail to win what they so desperately want. Their hate, their possession, their rage, and their anger are going to prevent them from winning the presidency. Believe it, folks. You need to believe it. You also need to believe this. You have a pack of blessings on your back, and this is all going to be okay. God's in charge. His divine providence has guided this republic since its founding, and he's not abandoning it now. You see, God doesn't abandon things that he has a hand in starting. So count those blessings every day. Take inventory of that pack of blessings on your back, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to pray for President Trump. Wrap him in prayer and wrap this country, this republic, up in prayer. I will pray for you, and I hope you pray for me. Let's pray for each other, patriots. Let's have each other's backs out there, and don't take for granted that gut feeling that you have. Be hopeful. Share this message of hope. It's real and it's legitimate. Just like President Trump's presidency is legitimate. So, ladies and gentlemen, may God continue to bless you. Please follow this show on all of the podcast platforms, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Search us out, The Right Side with Doug Billings. We will meet again right here, I promise you. Until then, cheers.